Namaste and welcome to today's session. So, let's start off with a sitting practice and then we'll talk about the topic for today. Mm. So, let's sit comfortably wherever we are. Take a nice long deep breath in and exhale. You can close your eyes gently and just feel into the body. Just feel into the sensations of the body, whatever they are at this point of time, wherever they are. And as you feel into the sensations, just connect with them, your breath, just breathe into them. And as you exhale, just relax. Inhale once again. And exhale. Just become aware of the sounds around you. Become aware of sensations. Become aware of the breath and whatever is happening right now. And as you breathe in whatever is coming into your awareness. And as you exhale, just let go of anything that you are holding on to. With every outgoing breath, release, relax, drop effort, and also drop every form of resistance to what is. In this moment, there's nothing for you to do, nothing for you to change, nothing for you to modify. So accept this moment unconditionally. Whatever is happening in the outer world, whatever is happening in the inner world, just be with it. In other words, drop all resistance. If there's any kind of resistance in the form of any sensation in the body, feel into it and just be with it. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And get in touch with whatever is happening in the body. Wherever it may be happening. Whatever is happening right now is an expression of life in the form of some sensation. So learn to just be with it. The more we are able to accept whatever is happening, the easier it is to go through that experience. The more we resist what is happening, the more challenging it is. So don't fight whatever is happening right now, whether in the outer world or the inner world of thoughts and sensations and feelings. Just simply accept what is, or another way of saying it, do not resist what is. Let go, surrender, just be. There is no purpose to being. There is no goal. There is no agenda. Simply aware, present, conscious. Sometimes it's more easier to be present when we breathe into our sensations and feelings. If there is any sensation in the body, just be aware of it, particularly where you feel the sensation is the most. It doesn't matter whether it is because of some feeling, emotion, reason. Just experience the sensation wherever it is. Legs, pelvic region, abdomen, chest, hands, throat, face. Wherever you find a sensation which is predominant, just be with the sensation. And we are present to what is. You're able to disconnect that identification with our thoughts and the conceptual identity that the thoughts create, and just be present, be conscious, to be aware. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Slowly and gently, at your own time, at your own pace, rub your palms and cup your eyes. Okay, so welcome back. And one of the purposes of doing a sitting practice is to it helps us to get us in touch with what we are experiencing and what we are feeling in the moment. Because quite often, when we are doing things, when we are involved in the world of activities, and our mind is occupied with something, it's quite possible that we are not in touch with what we are experiencing, what feelings, sensations, emotion. And the more we are disassociated, disconnected from what we may be feeling, the more that sensation and feeling tends to get prolonged. So, in a way, what every emotion, every sensation is seeking from us is a full experience or a full presence to it, giving it a full awareness. And particularly, I think emotions and sensations which stem from a feeling of lack, um, insecurity, unworthiness. Um, I think those kind of emotions, which are coming from some unconscious belief in us getting triggered. The unconscious belief could be, I'm not good enough, I'm not valued, uh, or some unconscious belief that we have about ourselves, and that's getting triggered. And whenever that happens, and that happens for us at different periods of time for different people, then it's important to just just be aware of what's the sensation, where it is being felt in the abdomen, in the chest, or wherever, in what form. And also, it's good to have awareness of what belief is triggering this sensation and this emotion. So, even though I think in this session I wanted to talk about something else, but so I'll talk about something that I've been coming across very recently amongst some of the people I know who have chosen to sort of transition from what mm, their regular jobs was. Like, I know of somebody who's mm, worked in the corporate, and now that person has come down here to Dharam Code, and that person has started a cafe. And at this point of time, the cafe is not even financially sustainable. Uh, he's trying to do the best he can. I know of another person who had uh, the job of a software programmer, and now she's beginning to teach yoga and getting into healing, and she's offering workshops. And not many people are turning up for her workshops at this point of time. So, and there are many such cases. So, especially when we sort of try to do something which is meaningful to us, something which we feel we have benefited from and which we want to share with the world, uh, or a gift which comes naturally to us. And perhaps we are not so great at marketing ourselves. We are not so great at, doing all the fancy things which are needed to be done on social media. We may perhaps not experience success in the way success is understood, like lots of people coming to your restaurant, or a lot of people coming to your workshops, or a lot of people coming for your courses. And that can trigger insecurity and feelings of lack of self-worth. You know, it can make someone feel that, oh, am I good enough? Am I, what I'm offering, is it of any value? Does anyone even want what I have to offer? Um, it can, and it can make one also feel um unmotivated. It can also make feel very uninspired. Okay, like, now what's the point? Because no one is interested in what I have to offer, no one is coming, and all those kinds of feelings. So, and personally, even I have gone through these experiences, and it's not like, I've totally transcended feelings of, uh, because I think to a great extent, our conceptual identity, our ego identity, or the character that we have, it derives a lot of self worth and validation from how others respond to what we have to offer. I think that's really at the core of it. Uh, uh, in that sense, like, if a lot of people are coming for what you have to offer, then it generally feels good that, yes, what I have to have offer is of value. A lot of people are coming. A lot of people want what I have to offer, and vice versa. If there isn't anyone who's really coming to your classes, or who's coming to your new cafe, or who is listening to your podcast or what you're offering on social media, then there is a feeling like, okay, and yet uh, you want to continue doing what is really, really meaningful for you. You don't want to go back to a corporate job. You don't want to go back to do, because you realize that um, that's not really something that was fulfilling for you, that was not meaningful for you. And yet now that you are doing something which is really meaningful for you, which is very um, enriching for you, perhaps, which is where you're being more authentic, where you're using your natural gifts, and here no one seems to be interested in what you have to offer. And I remember a time, if I were to share from my own experience, many years back, when I was in the corporate world, as a chartered accountant, and I was in this big multinational consulting firm called Pricewaterhouse, and and I was at that time studying Vedanta with a teacher, the way with the same philosophy that I talk about, and there was a course happening in Rishikesh with a certain Swamiji, Swami Dayanand Saraswati. He's no more at his ashram for like what 2.5 months, and I really wanted to attend that. And then, of course, no employer is going to give you uh, mm, like a 2.5 month leave, especially if you tell, like, I want to attend a spiritual course. So I was really conflicted at that time. What do I really want to do? I mean, I have this one very fancy job, which of course is not really very meaningful for me. It's giving me um, so-called others, the recognition of others. Oh, wow, you're working in this big multinational company, and you're making good money. But I mean, personally, I know I'm not feeling any fulfillment doing that work. And here is something I really want to do, and here really want to explore for myself. And I think at that's the time I was reading this book by Coelho. I don't think I'm pronounced it right, but you know who I'm talking about, the famous author, and his famous book, which is The Alchemist. And it's a bit a story of, I think, a shepherd boy who goes on a quest to find his true self, something like that. I don't even remember the story now, but I remember one part of that book, one sentence or something, which is, if I don't even know if I'm saying it right, if you really want something, then the whole universe conspires to make it happen. And that's also translated into a Hindi dialogue. अगर तुम्हें कुछ चाहिए तो whole कायनात, like I remember some Shah Rukh Khan movie. So listening to that, I left my job because I realized that that's not really giving me any fulfillment. And I felt like if I really want to do something which is deeply authentic, which is really very um, fulfilling, then I must pursue which is like, go for this course. And I left my job. I resigned from my job. I didn't, of course, say why I'm leaving. I just said I'm going on a sabbatical. And I went and did this course. And at that point of time, I thought that, I want to get into corporate training and work with, mm, human beings and human development, because that's what really where my passion was, where found I thought I would be fulfilled. So I did that, and then when I came back after doing the, then I tried various ways to work as a corporate trainer, and nothing really clicked for me at that point of time. And it was one of the most vulnerable uh, periods of my life. Those, I think, altogether 9 months without a job. Uh, and I tried, okay, fine. If I can't even be a corporate trainer, let me get into teaching finance and accounts. And even that wasn't working. But I realized how much our worth is linked to what we do and how it is received by the outer world. It is not only linked to, like, because there are two aspects to worth if we look at it from a conceptual identity perspective. One is my natural self expression, and the other is how is that natural self expression received by the world. There are two aspects to it. Like, if, okay, fine, my natural self expression is to teach yoga. Now, is I may be doing that, but how many people are interested in what I have to offer? My natural self expression is to open a small cafe. Okay, now I'm doing that, but now how many people are coming for that? And so I don't know. Perhaps it's a journey that we all have to undertake, because finally the choice is what? Either you can go back to doing whatever, you know in the mainstream, where, like, doing a typical job, and doing things which perhaps, or being employed with someone. You could also be employed in an institute and an organization, but maybe that doesn't give you meaning and joy. And here you are, this small individual or independent individual, trying to offer some services, um, in whatever form. And especially when you're independent individual, you are doing something really personal, something meaningful, but there aren't many people who are coming to you for. Maybe you lack some skills to market yourself. Maybe, I don't know whether even it's lack of skills to market yourself. Maybe you're doing the best you can, but still, people. And then that creates a certain kind of a vulnerability. Mm. And that creates a certain kind of, um, you know am I good enough? And it's not just a question, it is felt in your body somewhere, that feeling, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? You can feel it in your abdomen, in your chest, that feeling of. Uh, so what does one do in such a situation? Well, if you go to uh, a coach, a sort of a business coach or a life coach, then they will perhaps, say, okay, we need to brainstorm, you need to come up with ideas, and then we will have to set up goals and strategies, and then you need to follow this and do this. And then, sort of the yang way of approaching things. The yang way is like, come on, okay, now I can't be in this state of vulnerability. I need to do something about it. I need to brainstorm certain strategies and ideas. Okay, marketing, I need to do this. Okay, this, I need to do this. And then maybe you do it yourself, or maybe you take the help of some motivational coach, some life coach, some business coach, some whatever. And all of these, the jobs is to really set goals and help you to achieve that. And that may also work for some people. I don't know. But personally, I'm not really drawn to that approach, because it just doesn't feel very natural to me. It feels very, it's like, it's like very forceful. At this point of my journey, it doesn't feel natural, and perhaps it doesn't feel natural to many people. That typical. mm, and in a way, the yang approach is really trying to be successful forcefully. Okay, it's a typical strategic way, which is pretty much how um, how the corporate world works, a very masculine approach towards success. Okay, strategy, planning, this, that. Then there's a yin way of functioning, which is very organic, which is very fluid, which is very in the moment, which is allowing things to happen by themselves. And when you are in that yin approach, when the movement is no longer head driven, trying to force to make things happen, but allowing things to happen, then there is going to be vulnerability. So, and because the yin approach is, in a way, is not trying to control, forcefully trying to control things or trying to make things happen. The yin approach uh, uh, is just accepting of what's happening right now. The yin approach is doing what feels natural and organic to do right now. And the yin approach, by the yin, I'm saying the feminine approach or the more accepting organic approach, which is different from the forceful approach, is has also to accept the uncertainty about what tomorrow brings. Mm. Because the yin approach is not trying to forcefully trying to set goals. Even if some goals are coming about, it's a very organic. It is not coming from the mind space. It is not coming from the forceful approach of thoughts trying to force things to happen. But so even if goals come about, even if some plans come about, they come about not which are mm, coming from the head space, but coming more organic. I don't know whether I'm able to communicate in words what I'm trying to say, but it's a very natural process. And when you get in touch with what is natural, then there is you're doing what seems authentic, but then there is also an element of vulnerability. Because you continue doing whatever you're doing, but you don't know now how many people are going to come to your class, how many people are going to come to your restaurant, how many people are going to buy your painting, how many people are going to listen to your music. I'm just giving different examples. And yet you do. And then, of course, the mind will kind of think, like in Paulo Coelho's book, when you do something really authentic, the universe will support you, and the universe eventually we will find success when we are doing something deeply authentic, which is natural to us. And but again, those are in a way stories of the mind, which tend to create hope for the future, because that's what the mind lives on. It wants hope for the future. It wants to believe in this story that when I do something which is deeply authentic, then yes, eventually I will find success. And there are many cases where people are doing something very authentic, and then they find great success. I think one of the examples that come to my mind is this actor Nawazuddin Siddiqui. He comes from a very poor background, and he struggled for many years, and now he's extremely successful as an actor. Uh, but then there are so many cases of people who have also not been so-called successful, uh, in spite of following what they wanted. So yes, the story of hope makes us feel good, gives us some inspiration for the moment. But really speaking, I think the answer doesn't lie in hope that, oh, tomorrow things will become better. Oh, tomorrow things will get better. And that's a never ending goalpost of hope, which keeps moving forward. I think if at all there's an answer, the answer lies in experiencing our vulnerability. Fine, I'm vulnerable. Fine, no one is coming to my class. Okay, fine, no one is listening to what I've got to say. Fine, no one is coming to my restaurant. Oh, son, fine, no one is coming for my workshop. Oh, fine, no one is. Um, yeah, and all of this is making me vulnerable. Fine, I accept. This is it. And what do I mean by accept is feel feel whatever is getting triggered, which doesn't mean that one does not do what one has to do naturally. One continues to do whatever, but it's really this uh, belief that is getting triggered, that my worth is conditional to this, that I am good enough only if this happens. And that's primarily stems from my own unconscious story and belief of the mind, that I am good enough only if this happens, which is conditional to something happening. So the answer lies in shining the torch of awareness on this belief and the sensation that this belief creates, and just learning to be with that vulnerability rather than trying to run away from that vulnerability and say, okay, now come on, I can't do, now I have to do this, now I have to do that, now I'll do this. It's not really so. And I think, at least I can share from my own experience, the more you allow things to come up, the more you shine the torch of awareness on whatever is coming up over a period of time, our identification with the belief that I am good enough only if someone is acknowledging what I have to offer, or is this conditional to something that happens. I am good enough only if so many people come for my class. I am good enough if only I make so much of turnover. I am good enough if um, mm, if I have so many subscribers. I am good enough. So this notion that I am good enough only if this happens, that belief begins to crumble when you are able to just see it for what it is, when you can just experience it fully for what it is, because that belief is going to create sensations in the body. If we can just be with the sensations, just feel into them completely as is, and what these sensations are coming, these getting over a period of time, the intensity or of the feelings and the sensations reduces, because at the end of the day, what else can you do? The otherwise, the other approaches is you want to escape those feelings and sensations, you want to deny those feelings and sensations of lack of self-worth, of vulnerability. You want to move the yang way of trying to make things happen, marketing and this and that, the but that's not really the long-term sustainable approach of doing. And a time comes when you can't even do that. You just can't do that, the typical masculine approach of trying to forcefully achieve something. You can do it maybe for a short time, but it does not sustain. So I think, yeah, it's if I have to give a title to this session, one of the titles that's coming is, am I worthy enough? Because our worth is linked to what we do, and second is, it is linked to what we are doing as we evolve. The first idea of self-worth is that I tend to do whatever will give me success and money, and then we are not really even looking into whether what I'm doing is fulfilling for me, whether it's a natural self-expression. No, we are just interested. Then over a period of time, as we evolve, then our worth is linked, that what I need to do has to be meaningful to me, has to be authentic to me, where my gifts are used. Then the desire is that not only should my worth be linked to what is natural to me, authentic to me, but I should also be able to offer this to the world, and the world should be receiving what I have to offer. Mm. And when that doesn't happen, then it creates a lot of vulnerability. So finally, I think perhaps the journey is to realize that my worth is not conditional on something happening. I think that's really the ultimate journey. That my worth is not like how many people come for my classes, how many people are interested in what I have to offer. I think my worth is simply that I am. I'm not this or that. I just am. I yeah, I don't know what, or that I am not really this conceptual identity that the mind is creating, which is seeking self-worth by external validation and success. But I just am. That this person which is seeking self-worth through doing something and getting the validation of others, this person doesn't really exist other than in my thoughts and in my mind. What is reality is that what is happening right now, the expression of the expression of the totality of life. Because in a way one could say that nothing in nature is seeking self-worth, mm, by seeking validation. Only human beings seek self-worth by seeking validation from others in the form of whatever it is. If you look at the whole of existence, it simply is existing. A tree is a tree, a flower is a flower, a bird is a bird, a cow is a cow. None of these, uh, anything in nature is seeking that, oh, I need self-worth. Someone needs to acknowledge what I do. It's just, they're just being who they are. So I guess it's a journey, perhaps one could say. And the what can help us in that journey is to learn to experience our vulnerability, to learn to experience whenever we feel that lack of self-worth, to experience it, to just bring awareness to it rather than to run away from it, or rather than to compensate it by forcing us to do something or trying to achieve something, or to manage the insecurity by avoidance, denial, escapism, action or reaction or something or the other. So I think that's what today's session is about. Or for all those people, including me, who have undertaken this journey towards doing something which is authentic, which is personal, which is mm, joyful, which is meaningful for them, who have chosen to become work independently. It is a vulnerable journey. It is like the book that M. Scott Peck's title of the book, The Road Less Traveled. Um, yeah, but it's better than traveling that road where everyone is there and people are just doing things which are not really meaningful or authentic to them. And maybe, I don't know, this journey may give us success in the typical sense, like recognition, money, or whatever, or it may give some medium success, or it may give minor success. I don't really know. But I think perhaps really if there is success, okay, so I think that's really interesting, is learning to be comfortable with what is. I think that is real success. It's like whatever is, I can learn to be with what is. I don't have to fight what is. I don't have to resist what is. I am just fine with what is. Even if there's discomfort, I can be with what is. Because whatever is an expression of the universe, the totality of life. There's no resistance to it. I think really that's like a form of unconditional acceptance of what is. That truly is success. Like at the end of the day, you could just have, you know, have a loincloth and feel a sense of great contentment and abundance with nothing on your body, nothing. And there are examples of mystics and saints who have, or you could have crores and crores in your bank balance and still feel lack and scarcity and sort of uh, inferiority complex or whatever it is. And there are many cases of people who have like tremendous success, tremendous fame, tremendous money, and yet they end up killing themselves, ending their life because of something that's going on. So, really, the abundance, the security, the the oneness, the comfort that we are seeking is not an outcome of external circumstances. How many people are accepting, validating money or making this? Whatever has to happen will happen. One can do whatever. But the real success is to be just comfortable with what is. Whatever is, being content and comfortable with, not forcefully. hmm, Even if there is a feeling of discontent, then be with that. Even if there is a feeling of lack, then learning to be with that. Being comfortable with discomfort, I think that really is a really great ability to have. That can I learn to be comfortable with discomfort? Can I be uh, just be with when, or shine, or the torch of awareness when everything in myself is saying, okay, I need to run away from this, I need to do something, I need to, can I just be? And the more we are able to just be with what is, then the more we are in touch with the expression of life. Because whatever is emerging is not something we are choosing. That's what life is bringing about. Whatever life is bringing about, whatever the universe is bringing about, rather than fight it, I think it's just good to just be with what is. So that's that for today's session. I think it's particularly relevant and useful for a lot of us who have chosen to go away from the mainstream and to follow something which is authentic and real for us. And we have to go through those vulnerable phases and patches where we have to deal with these feelings and emotions. Okay, so let's end the session with a small prayer, a spontaneous prayer. And I think these spontaneous prayers are more like for me to sort of summarize the whole session also. Sometimes, I don't know, while I talk about oneness and, uh, also even in the realm of oneness, one can always also have this connecting to the divine through the form of a prayer. Mhm. I think just because these classes are about oneness and non-duality, and it doesn't mean one can't pray to uh, within the realm of oneness. Yes, it's possible that one can even mm, um, pray to a higher self, and uh, that's part of it. Okay, so let's close our eyes and join your palms. Namaste if you wish, my dear higher self. Help me to be aware of what is. Help me to realize that there is no me in the first place. Just awareness of what is, particularly when the what is vulnerable, is difficult. just being with the sensations that are triggered from unconscious beliefs about the self. And help me to continue on the path of being authentic, expressing my true self. And seek your guidance and grace to realize true self. Om Shanti Shanti. Okay. So with that, we end today's session. Goodbye. God bless and take care.